this video, I'm sharing my research on the top destinations to use for free travel accommodations using Trusted House Sitters. And in my 4 months on Trusted House Sitters, the biggest thing I've learned is it is such a numbers game. Yes, there are thousands of sits worldwide, but they are by no means evenly distributed. Understanding where these locations are is so important to make sure that Trusted House Sitters specifically as a platform is right for you, just to make sure you're getting your money's worth. But if you're open to going to a lot of these countries, especially the ones that I'm about to list in this video, keep listening. I'm not gonna bury the lead, y'all. Here is number 5 through 10 right here. But here's why it doesn't matter. Again, the numbers. This is a numbers game, y'all. Look at the numbers for 5 through 10. Honestly, I'm not very impressed. Everything is like below 50 sits, which I personally wouldn't consider abundant by any means. And if you look even further on the map, you see that there's very little overlap with these sits and top travel destinations. France, Paris, and honestly, just think of this research as a snapshot. People are constantly adding sits. Sits are constantly being booked and removed. I will still want to shoot my shot, get to Dublin, get to all these different parts of Europe. Of course, of course. With these numbers in mind, I feel like if anything, it should just inform your strategy. This video will reveal the true house sitting havens around the world, but let's get into why we even care about where the most popular ones are. I'm defining a house sitting haven as a house sitting location on like a city level that has at least 100 sits available at a given time. This has so many advantages. One specific example is for long-term travel. You can just link sits back to back to back, and that's what I've been doing for the last 3.5 months. 2, let's not forget selectivity. Not every house sit posted on Trusted House Sitters will be the right fit for you. So if you're starting out with a big number, you can whittle down, and not have to settle. And also 3, it's like an unofficial cancellation protection. Because the owners are completely in control of the dates, they can also change them at any point or cancel on you at any point. So you can easily, hopefully, rebook another sit for those same dates. And I've already done that twice. 4, last but not least, competition. Especially in the beginning, it can be really hard to get your first sit and get those reviews rolling in so people build the trust in the Trusted House Sitters of your specific profile. So it's really helpful if you are trying out, at least especially in the beginning, in a place where there are a lot of sits, because then there's less competition. Even though I just said, yes, there are thousands and thousands of sits available on Trusted House Sitters, they're all concentrated in these top 4 countries that we're about to get into. And number 4, Canada, eh? Oh, Canada. Why am I praying? Okay. So Canada is number 4, has over 200 sits available. But unfortunately with Canada, for those people who want to go to the Montreals, Torontos, Vancouvers, those numbers are tiny, tiny, tiny. We see that a lot of sits in Canada are countryside sits. About a little over 100, so maybe about half of the sits available in Canada countrywide are on the countryside. Don't want to actively discourage you to not go for the Montreals or Torontos or Vancouvers. This should just only inform your strategy. I don't want to assume that the city is more desirable. That's more of a me thing. I'm not going to project it on y'all. Maybe some of y'all love the Canadian countryside. And let's get into number 3, Australia, mates. Good day. Aussie and Aussie. I got that a lot in Australia. And I should, wait, I don't know if it's out of shot or not, but I have Australian flag tattooed on my body. So Australia, mate, has over 300 sits all across the country / continent, because it's special. By Australia and British are a little I don't know where one starts and one ends. But also, like Canada, there isn't as much overlap over those top city travel destinations like the Sydneys, the Melbournes. Actually, I'm gonna give Melbourne an honorable mention because they do have about 60-ish, 50s, 60s sits. At least it's like, I'm trying to make something out of nothing. It's not that high. There are not that many sits in Melbourne. And of course, One thing, I noted this in my guide video, really important to re-mention this now. With Trusted House Sitters, the platform is not really regulating or standardizing how pet owners are labeling the geography of their home. So, for example, someone could be well in the suburbs, completely different zip code, technically not in the city, but they could just claim that they live in the nearest city. So they might be like the greater metropolitan area within 100 miles of that city. So take the map with a grain of salt, take these filters with a grain of salt, and kind of just use them as a way to kind of get into the realm of what's available, but you'll always want to double check with the pet owner. I usually ask for cross streets or nearby landmarks just so I can Google Maps it myself and really get a sense of where it is. And like Canada, Australia has a lot of countryside sits. Over 200 of their sits are out of 300 something are countryside. We're up to the top 2 now, and there's a big old meteoric rise here. We talked about little old Canada, little old Australia with their 200, 300 sits. We in the big leagues now, y'all. We are in the United Kingdom with over 2,600 sits. Woo! Can I do a British accent? The Leaky Cauldron, that's in London. The Leaky Cauldron. I can't tell it apart from my Australia now. Even though the UK is only number 2 on the country level, it's definitely number 1 when it gets to those city level hubs, with Oxford, London, with over 500 sits at each location, Bath, Bristol, Cambridge, Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool, all those Beatles song sounding names. The UK is really huge for those really juicy, ooey gooey travel hubs on Trusted House Sitters. But one thing I noticed, again, you really definitely need to double check the geography, because looking at the map, a lot of these little dots are claiming London, and I don't think London is that big. And also maybe these numbers are a little bit inflated, and you still need to do that manual work to make sure you're getting that London time experience, mate. Was that pirate? Was that Australian? Who knows? And let's get into number 1. Ugh, I don't want to sound disgustingly patriotic, like we're number 1, we're number 1. But yes, here the US is actually number 1 on Trusted House Sitters on a country level with over 3,000 sits available. Even traveling around the US in Trusted House Sitters, it wasn't clear to me which location was number 1. I wrongly thought it was like a Denver or Seattle, but no, the true number 1 is the Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland. Yo, the Bay has over 270 sits available. I feel like Denver and Seattle are pretty much neck and neck. And number 4 is DC with over 150 sit opportunities, followed by Portland with over 140, and Austin with around 120. Yeah, especially if you want to travel in the West Coast, you know, that Portland, the Seattle, the San Fran. Trusted House Sitters has got you covered for real, for real. I am eyeing the UK now. Now that I see these numbers, okay, London town, I just need to get the weather vibe right. So that's a good thing, because I know the UK is such a popping hub. I know that I have a pretty good chance of getting a sit there at any time of the year. But I want to be there. I want to be there when it's too hot to be here. Come next summer, when it's like 1 billion degrees and the ozone is melting our faces off, I might want to be in London. So this is like a little tiny sliver of my strategy on Trusted House Sitters. But if you're interested in learning more about my whole strategy, definitely check out my comprehensive guide video. I'll put it in the description. And if this video in any way helped you make the leap or take another step towards house sitting, and you're interested in using Trusted House Sitters, be sure to check my referral code, also in the description. Please and thank you. You'll get 25% off. I'll get a couple months free. Everyone wins, and we're all getting free housing. So thank you very much, and peace.